Hi everybody, and welcome back to Studying the Masters with Alicia Dianne Art. I'm Alicia Dianne, and we're gonna pick up where we left off last week. Working with, let me make sure. Okay, we're gonna be working with a children's book illustrator. Her work is really great. I love it. Her name is Lucy Fleming. So the art piece that we're going to be studying, doing a master study of, it's called Foragers. So I'm going to switch over to my screen. Let me see if I can switch. Right, and maybe I'll leave this on for now. Maybe I'll take it off. I don't know. I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I'm still here, still alive and kicking. All right, so I'm going to open up my reference for me to see. And I'm just going to pick right back off where I left off last week on this sketch. I don't think I'm going to do too much more on the rough sketch before I get into starting to color. I really want to do mostly color today. So, I keep getting all these alerts. But let's go ahead and keep it moving. I wish I could play like some royalty-free music or something like that, but I don't know. If there's like a royalty-free station and you guys are aware of that and I'm not, please let me know, because I would love to like have some kind of background noise sometimes. But I don't own the rights to any music, so like it feels like hopeless. But if there are any like channels that you guys know about that I don't, please let me know. And I'm gonna do my best to use my full vocal range in this, because I realized I was checking back at some of my videos and I know a lot of them, like the sound quality is not what I would like it to be. It's kind of hard, like working with all these beginner tools. I can't say I'm new to YouTube, but I'm not like, I feel like I don't have all of the gear and everything that I would like to have. So man, I'm gonna work on it, and hopefully in the not too distant future we can come up with something. All right, so let's see. Some of these shapes feel a little bit confusing. Okay, so I want to make sure that my shapes look clear and that nothing looks like too wonky. So I'm going to fix stuff that I feel like seems a little bit wonky or whatever. And hopefully we can have some nice appealing shapes. That's one of the things that that came up this week. I was talking with a sketch group of mine that I'm involved in, and we do character design in that group. And one of the things that came up was like background design, and I was talking about it and how hard it used to be for me, because it took me a long time to really get it. And a lot of people who focus on character design have the same issue, or it's hard for them to do backgrounds because they focus so much of their attention and practicing on characters that they've kind of neglected the background element of things. And that can happen. And it's not, I feel like it's pretty common, but once you just kind of slowly get more involved and more in it, it starts to feel like more exciting and less intimidating. Your backgrounds start to feel like in character in themselves, which I think is pretty awesome. It does take some time. It's not like it's an easy thing to do, but I definitely think it feels doable. I think these are the bulk of the main shapes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and insert my characters and then start with the color. So this would be what I would consider still to be like a thumbnail stage. So let me see. I have my main character, which is the little girl. Let's see, her head. Sometimes I try to think if I want to start with the head or the body or the torso. I think I'll just start here and adjust it as needed. And in these characters, I noticed she has a pretty distinct difference, like ratio from head to torso. Like the head's a lot bigger in the torso, and I can't even figure it out on this keyboard I'm using. I'm not using it. My Mac keyboard died on me like last summer, so since then I got like a regular Windows, and I keep trying to like figure out what the different keys are from translated from Mac to Windows, and sometimes I get it and sometimes I can't like really figure it out, so please work with me. So I've like missing the hotkeys. I don't even like know what the translation for the hotkeys are, unfortunately. And I will try to remember, even sometimes like when I'm sketching I get so into it that I'm like forgetting to speak up. I'm gonna try and like do my best to use my outside voice so that you guys can actually hear what I'm saying, because I mean, watching the drawing is fun too, but you know, you want to still be able to hear what I'm talking about, even if it's like nonsense, which most of the time it probably is. Alright, so I had this, I'm noticing that this feels a lot further back than I have it. So this should be, I think, a bit smaller. So I think I'm going to scale this back a bit, because it feels like the original has it quite a bit smaller and more pushed back than what I have it as. And I might even take off that lock so I can distort it a bit to make it taller, because that's what it feels like it's doing in the original. Okay. Still want to be able to see the little mushrooms, but I don't want them to get too fuzzy. Should I leave it here? I don't want them to get too distorted, so I'm trying to figure that out, what my game plan for that is. If I have a game plan for that. Maybe that can work. I'll give it a shot. I'm going to move this little flower over even a little bit more. Oops, why did it move? I have to get the move tool to remember it's not the same as Procreate, because Procreate seems to be my go-to lately, but I gotta remember that things are different. A little bit. Maybe that's alright. Alright, I'll leave it like that. And let's keep drawing. I think the character, does feel like she's leaning back a little bit. Like even maybe just a touch past gravity. But no, so let me see how much I can, because the character is, I'm going to put the lock back on, because I like to leave the lock back on so I don't distort my characters or anything. Yeah, she feels like she kind of leans back a little bit there. And even her foot feels smaller. So I'm just like eyeballing all of the little things that make the original what it is. Like I tend to, and I think it's natural to kind of tend to want to draw in your own style, or to like lean towards your own way of looking at things. But I'm trying my best to kind of see it through the eyes of the person who did the original. That way I think I can get the most information, and then when I'm doing my own works, then I can fully embrace, you know, whatever I want to. But for this study, I like to try and put myself in that person's shoes. That way I feel like I can learn the most from it. And she got like this little, don't know if it's a witch hat or a gnome hat, or maybe it's a combination of the two. It's like a little cone hat. Okay. And this, I feel like, should also be a little bit further back. To allow more space for the character. So I'll try and do that. What is this? I'm not even sure what that is. Actually, I think I'm going to turn off the lock again because it feels like it's more... I'm going to distort it just a little bit. And it does overlap with some of the other plants. So let's see. Oh, I kind of see. There's like a circle down there. All right. Let's see. I feel like there's still not quite enough space for him. Should the first character be smaller? Maybe a little bit. Make her a little bit smaller. Put the lock back on. One thing I don't like to distort is characters. Unless I did something off on the original drawing. But generally, I don't want to distort my characters. Because it just kind of... Let's see. There's so much going on that I'm like, ooh, this is not going to be easy. But I'm going to do my very best. Alright, the second character is around here. And I think it's... I mean, generally when I'm doing my own characters, I will start with the torso. But for some reason with this, I feel like it's helped. Like, because the characters are such a part of the composition, like their little head is like a little sphere that's kind of directing a little bit. This should be smaller then. This, I feel like... Let's see. No. When I'm adding the characters, I can see where I need to change other things. So maybe I will just delete this for now until I can figure out where that's supposed to go. Because I feel like it's really important to know, to have that character not get lost in the details. So I'm going to put that character in. No, I think he goes a little bit further back. One thing that I noticed is I'm doing more digital painting and like a lot of problem solving with my art. It feels a lot like it's almost like doing math, but like doing fun math. It's so much a problem solving thing when you're trying to figure out how things work. But it's like it's not like actually doing math as like yourself, but it's actually doing math as like someone who actually understands math. That's what it feels like for an artist doing this sort of thing. That's how it feels like to me. It's like I can see the language and I understand it, but it's still like a problem solving, but it's kind of like an exciting sort of problem solving, which I'm guessing it's probably like that for people who actually enjoy math. It's some kind of exciting to solve problems. I definitely don't feel that way about math in general. I'm not a math person, but there's a lot of problem solving with this sort of thing. Even when I'm doing my own illustration, like doing my own like painting and stuff, I'm like trying to solve problems at the same time, whether it's compositional or like sizing or just what textures I want to use. It feels like there's a lot of that. And oh, he's got like a little thing of apples or something. I thought it was just one apple, but apparently he has a whole backpack of apples. So I'm not really sure how to fit those in with his little ears here. Maybe his ears are too big. I'll make his ears smaller. It looks like they're smaller than what I have. And that's the same thing with like the style thing, because usually when I do little kids, their ears are kind of big. And there's this kind of like a stylistic choice that I go to. So I have to kind of weigh my options here a little bit. Okay, so he's got some apples there, and then those his actual ears. I feel like he's got a pretty significant chin there, so I don't want to lose that detail. Alright. And I don't want to lose the shape language of her hair, because it's like it goes on this angle and there's no tangent there between her and the boy, so I want to make sure that I keep that. Okay, it's kind of looking up. It's even like a little bit of a swoop where the apple falls out. Alright, and the mushroom, the second mushroom kind of goes right up to the boy. Oh, but it feels like this one is more over. So this one is like a disc. Maybe not that big, maybe like this. But then this one doesn't even start till over here, looks like. Alright. Problem solving time again. I might even delete this and start over with that mushroom. Alright, so, or not mushroom, it's like a lily pad. So there's this lily pad, and then this one. Trying to understand the shapes that she's using too. When I keep them complementary, make sure that they are like appealing looking and not like too random. All right, let's see. It's a strange little lily pad, but it's so cute. I really like how she uses them. I don't know if it looks like a lily pad and a mushroom at the same time. Maybe one is a lily pad and one is a mushroom. I don't know. Because then they have like these little organic-y things coming up. Alright, so that circle that I erased earlier, which is like a hedge or bush in the back, I'm going to try and redraw that. I keep a very round shape. And there's like some little leaves coming out of here. Right there. I think I put them in the wrong place before, so I'll delete those. There's just like little mushrooms over here. This has got to be like someplace super moist. They have all these mushrooms and stuff. Georgia's like that. That's like the only place I can think of that has like so much moisture as long as the heat and just like things grow everywhere. I don't know if you guys have been to places like that, but there's just some places that is just you get the rain, but you also get like the heat and like all of that, what is it called? All of that forest. Okay. I don't know what the shape is here, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Because I don't like it. Alright, so I think I'm gonna start. A couple of things seem like they overcross it. I might simplify some things. Like this feels cluttered. This feels like I'm not sure what this is. So maybe I'll delete it for now. And when I get to the painting stage, draw something back in. I want to make sure that I have this mushroom very clear because that's important. It's important. And then the other stuff I feel like I can add on if needed. And this shape feels different. Like it's not like how it's supposed to be. I'm going to delete that. And it's more like a leaf that comes from here. That feels more like what the original is trying to do. Let's see. Well, I think those things that I had before were like leaves, but I didn't like the shape of them anyway, so. So that's okay. And those little things will stay around somewhere. The little, I don't know what those things are called. The little pond thingies. Alright, I'm going to start getting into color. But first, I do want to, I think with characters, since this is just like a thumbnail stage, I like to define my characters a little bit more. So I'm going to do another layer, just kind of refining the characters a little bit more before I go on to the final color. So this would be what I consider thumbnail, and then I will actually like to pencil the characters before like moving into the ink or painting stage. Do I have like a pencil brush? I feel like I haven't used Photoshop in so long. I don't even know what brushes I have. Hopefully I have some sort of a nice little charcoal brush, like a small charcoal. Hopefully. Let's see how this looks. No. Let's see. Remember I liked that one. I liked that one too. But I just want like a brush, like a pencil brush. Why are they so big? Where's like a regular little pencil? Come on, Photoshop. Maybe if I just used a regular Photoshop brush and I just put it on dissolve, it'll do what I want it to do. Let's see. Not quite. It's a little bit too thick still, I feel like. So now I'm just trying to figure out if I can find a pencil that I like. I don't like the ones that kind of miss spots, like when you're drawing in and it kind of leaves gaps. Yeah, I don't like that. I need a nice let's see. Let's see how this is, if I can make it small. No, don't like it. Come on now. Nope. Maybe I should find like an inking instead of a pen. I might need to. Let's see. What's this? No. Why are they all so big? I just need like a regular little inking brush. This one says line work. Let me see. That's not bad. Let me see. This one also says line work. Let me see if I like it. I still don't know why the line work is so humongous, but let's see. And it's doing that skipping thing. I don't like that. Don't like it. Perfect pencil. Let's see if it's perfect. Not really perfect, but I think it'll have to do for right now. Alright, it's okay. The faces are almost square, but just rounded on the edges. Like that's sort of the idea behind them. So let me see if I can get that shape going. I need to erase a bit. How do you do the, let's see. It's so weird to me sometimes. Like, I'm so used to, I think I was holding out, but I think I might have to go back and get my a new Apple keyboard, because I want to use the hotkeys and I'm finding myself totally confused when I look down and I don't have it. Alright, let's even this out a bit. I might even try to like because I know I can just like mirror my iPad on here, so maybe next time, or maybe at least one or two of these times, I'll do it from my iPad. We'll see. I'm just so used to iPad now. It's crazy. I feel like I haven't done like digital painting on Photoshop and like, I don't know. It's been over a year for sure. Maybe more than that. But I don't want to forget how to use Photoshop. I know I still need it for something, especially like different effects and stuff. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll just push myself so I don't forget Photoshop. It's been a loyal companion for many years. And I know that I am still going to need it, especially adding different stuff and scanning things and resizing things. I mean, there's still things that I can only do in Photoshop, or only feel comfortable doing in Photoshop. I don't know. It's really up to you. I don't know. I feel like characters are really important. So I definitely feel like some people just go straight from the thumbnail to the painting. I like to figure out the characters a little bit more than that. I feel like the characters are the most important part, so like, don't skimp on them. Yeah, it takes extra time, but I think it's worthwhile. Even in my graphic novel series, I ink them twice. I do the cleanup, I do the penciling, I do the inking, and then I do digital inking, and then I do a traditional inking on top of it. So I'm really crazy with that. But I don't know. I just think it's important to not skimp out on the important stuff with your characters. Personally, it's just how I think. Alright, so she's got like this basket of mushrooms or something like that. And what I realized too is like, one of the things I realized, for me at least, is these pages take a long time. So you gotta take that into consideration when you take on a freelance project, any sort of gig. Like, you don't want to be too cheap because you're gonna have to do a lot of work. I mean, even still, just doing a study, look how long. Usually studies are a lot faster than it takes the original too, because in the original you're still figuring everything, like you're even more problem solving, trying to figure out where you want to put everything. So it's been taking me, with the children's book that I'm working on currently, a good 6 hours a page. And that's not a spread, I mean a page per page. So I mean, it takes some time. So I think it's something to definitely be mindful of and aware of, so that you're not doing what I've done way too many times, which is undercharge. Because I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, people think it's just like fun, like, oh yeah, you just get to color, but it's your livelihood. So that's important. That your livelihood is important. And she's got these little hairs and stuff. It's a cute little character. A lot of her characters look, she uses the same sort of format to do her characters, which I don't mind. I think it makes them really recognizable. And I think there's some things that you should keep signature for your own characters, just because it does help people to recognize your work more immediately. With books, you really want to do that. People tend to like, collect certain books, and I don't know, children's illustration is a whole thing. It's very different in animation. That's what I'm learning more and more of as I'm like kind of in this transitioning phase. It's a much more niche thing. People know the artists. People, like parents who are buying the books, will start to learn the artist and want to buy more books, if they like the illustrator, which I didn't really know was a thing, but I'm finding that that is a thing. Let's see. All right. I'm going to follow at least kind of the shape of the hair. I don't need to have it perfectly at this stage. I just want to kind of know, again, the shape language. Remember where the hair is coming from. So just keep that in mind. curves more in the end. All right, the little hat. And I would just use this whole thing as like a template for starting the painting process. There's some things that feel like a little bit like, I know that when she talks about her style and like how she approaches things, she said she like kind of wants to keep things a little bit imperfect because it's like a little bit like she does incorporate a little bit of childlikeness, like almost like a kid drew it, but obviously a kid didn't draw it. But a little bit of like imperfection, which I really like because it kind of takes some of the pressure off and it allows you to kind of, as the artist, gives you to freedom to experiment, which I really like. I didn't always like experimenting with art and drawing. I took it really technical for a long time, but it really is like when you start to experiment, it reminds you of the fun that you can have with it, you know? So it's not just so serious and it's like rigid all the time. But, you know, because you don't want, if the last thing you want a children's book to be is like rigid, you want it to be playful. I think maybe it's a good thing to like, you know, draw or write or type out just the word playful and like put it somewhere in your drawing studio. That's what I should do too, like, because you want it to be playful. It should be playful or it's not going to be fun for the kids to read. Alright, let's tackle this little boy. Not literally, but let's see what we can do with him as far as cleaning excuse me, cleaning him up. He too has that he's younger, looks like a little brother. I guess that's what I gather. Looks younger, but very excited. She incorporated just a little tiny bit of that colored style with the rounded mouth corner. I'm using a lot of that style in my own children's book, not the one I'm freelancing right now, but a book that I'm working on, that I will be working on, that I have to like, it's kind of on the shelf right now. As soon as I finish doing these projects, it's like on the next in line. I think it's good to have like things in line. It gives you like, you know, you always have something you know that you have to do. It gives you like the idea to look forward to things and kind of see what you're learning from your current project that you could bring into the next one. And I also think I mentioned before that like I'm using, since I'm transitioning, I gotta be careful with that word because I think it means different things to different people. But transitioning in my career, like moving more towards like the publishing world, from the animation world. Not that I'm not, you know, not that I don't love animation and I won't be animating things, because I still be, but from that role that I was wanting to do or trying to do, which was that visual development, I just want to focus more on the publishing world and in the book world. And I think I want to do book conventions. That's the next thing that's on my list. I really want to start going to book conventions, and those are different from comic conventions because the book conventions are like more specific for age groups. Like they'll have like conventions for children's book publishing. They have one from young adult readers, which I think is just an exciting thing. I've never been to one of those types of shows, but I'm really excited to kind of venture out and give it a shot. And I hope that I can attend a few this year and even be an exhibitor. I'm excited to do that sort of thing. It'll be a new thing for me. New and exciting thing for me. And I think rather than having the ears like more rounded up, like how I typically draw them, they're more straight out for her characters. So that's another thing I got to keep in mind for study. I want to do them my way, but then I'm noticing the artist does it a little bit different than how I approach it, so try to keep that in mind. Alright, the hair. This guy's hair is a little bit wild. They kind of go up in different areas. It's like kind of got bedhead a little bit. I definitely think that's intentional on the artist's part. Like this tells a lot about the personality of the boy. Like he probably just got up, you know, found out his sister was gonna go searching for mushrooms and was like, I'm coming too, and just jumped out of bed. Didn't brush his teeth, nothing, just and if you know little kids, you probably know a little kid like that who just, you know, ready to jump up and go, you know, totally dirty, whatever, don't care. And just kind of an innocence to that, you know, in a sense, like the freeness of it, which is kind of cute. You know, I remember when I used to feel that way sometimes. Like I would just be ready, like whenever I would go to Barbados when I was a little kid, I would just be ready to jump up and go to the beach, not even thinking about anything else, just get up and go. Crack of dawn, sun's not even up yet, or barely up, and just ready to go. I think that was like the only time where I was really just ready to just jump up and go, other than like, you know, when you get to like Disneyland or something, or Disney World. Just so excited, you're just ready to jump up and go. I'd love to like live someplace that's just like out in the woods more. I mean, hopefully it was the internet connection, but I feel like I would totally love to just live someplace out in the woods where you can do stuff like that, just hunt for mushrooms and stuff. I don't know what I would do with them, but it'd just be fun. This artist too is from the UK. I feel like there's a lot of like foresty areas over there. I haven't been myself, but it seems like they have like a lot of very pretty forests and stuff. I mean, that's what I haven't done much traveling in my life, but I feel like that's what I would really like to see more, is just like untouched nature of different places. I just feel like that's so much more interesting to me than like big cities and all that. I'm not really interested in seeing a bunch of big cities. Just want to see like the nature. She does the feet super tiny, very small. That's just very opposite of like that Callard style. I don't know why I called it. Apparently that's what they've been calling it. It's like, if you look it up, you'll be able to see what that is. Alright. You might even have like a pajama top on. You got like little stains on your shirt too. That's cute. That's a cute detail. Alright. Which makes it even more affirming that, yeah, he definitely has that bedhead on purpose. Like she did that intentionally, which I already knew she did. Alright. And this little kind of basket of apples, or like backpack full with apples, whatever it is. She has a little netting on there. And there's one here. And there's like another one over here. And then the one that just fell out. And he doesn't have a care in the world. He's just so happy. Alright, so we did it. We have officially got in a loose background, and we have penciled in our characters. One of the things I want to do is I want to import a paper texture. I'm going to group these together. Let's see, let's group them together. Alright, that way we can turn it off or on if we'd like to. Let's see if I can do this. Paper. I don't think it's here. Textures. Alright, let's see. I know, where are they? It might be in the classes. Let's see. No. Maybe, I think I would have brought it in here though. Paper pack. Maybe I'll try this one. And I'll copy that and I'll paste it on here. That's so big. My goodness. Let's see what happens if I half the size. Let's change this to 90 degree angle. And let's put it at, let's see, 60. A little bit more. Alright, and maybe I will just leave it there. And I'll change the layer type. Let's see, linear burn, maybe? Color burn, linear burn. Maybe I'll just leave it on linear burn and I'll turn the opacity down. Let's put it for 50 right now. And I'll just change this to paper texture. And I'll lock this layer for now. And let's see. My background. I think I want to start with, let's see, let's go in. Let's see. I wonder if I should make a palette. I know I've made a palette for this particular illustration before. I think it's a great idea to make palettes. You can do that from inspiration, you can do it from photograph, like you can do it from a mood board. There's lots of ways, but I think it's a great idea to make color palettes when you're doing painting like these, or any type of digital painting. It helps you to kind of narrow your focus, since there's so many, like, feels like billions of different colors to choose from. It helps you to kind of narrow it down. Let's see. Let's see. I think I want a bigger, let's see. How big can this go? Let's see how this looks. That's not bad. Maybe I can just make it pretty big. And give it that new background color. Alright. And so what I'm gonna do from here, I feel like I need to get a new green cover for my Cintiq. But anyway, I think from here what I want to do is try and I think I'm going to use my lasso tool to fill in big bulk areas. So let me see, let me zoom out just a little bit. Not that much, just a little bit. No. I'm trying to zoom it out just a little bit. There. And then it just did it a little bit too much. Come on. Give me a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Alright. There. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to use my lasso tool. And what I'm going to do now is try and bulk in some of these colors. I'm getting like a teal. I want it to be like a nice teal color. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so let's see. I'm also going to... So what I will probably do, since we don't have a few minutes left, I'll probably do like the flatting. I don't know, if you guys want to see the flatting, I feel like that part might take up a lot of time. I'm kind of debating whether maybe I should still do it a lot, you know, show you guys the process, but I don't know. Just wondering if that is just like too much more than you guys want to see. You know, maybe you want to see, but I don't want it to be, if you're not interested in watching that part. You know what, I think I will just, I feel like I just talk to myself all the time when doing this. I'm talking to myself way too much. Alright, let's see. Okay. This should be nice. I keep using the wrong button to fill. That should be a little bit less saturated actually. Is that the right color? I think so. Alright. Let's see. There's this mess. I feel like this might even add to that one. Let's see. More yellowy. Maybe I will make this come out a little bit more here. Okay. There's a couple of other colors. I'm trying to do the far background first. So a lot of these other colors I will put on a different layer, just so I don't get confused when I'm trying to put in my texture. Be a little bit lighter here. Okay. Let's see. I want to kind of use, maybe I should pick up the texture so I can get this color. So I'm going to use that again, I think. And let's see. Yeah. And now, even though I'm using less, I'm just like being a little bit more conscious of the shapes I want to use. I want to make them a little bit more pleasing to the eye and a little bit more on par with how the original painting is. So I'm just thinking about that sort of thing. Oh, excuse me. Alright, let's see. I keep pushing the wrong thing. Alright, let's see. And over from there, I think I'll take another shape. And that one is more orangey. Not too orangey, just a little bit orangey. I like that. The ones that overlap, I will put on a separate layer. So I just gotta be careful not to put the ones that overlap together, because I don't want them to be together. And just do a few bit on the other side. So I can start to see the shape language there. This one's like a very light tealish color. Let's see. I'm gonna make it a little bit more round though. Oops. And let's see. A lot of these I will put on a separate layer. But let me see which ones I can fit on this layer. I think there's this one I can put. I want to add it. Add it. Add it. Add it. This is not working. Alright, let's see. Yellow and green. These are different types of green. The yellowy. And even this one feels like I can put this one on this layer. Even a little bit more yellowy than the last one. Okay, and let's see. There's a big color coming this way that I feel like I can use. Let's see. I think I want it a little bit more. Yeah, that feels better. Alright. And I think I can add one more leaf on this layer. See how I like that. No, that color, I kind of like it. Alright, well, I think we are at our time, but this is how far we've gotten. I think it's kind of cute so far. It's definitely been a fun process. It might even take the whole time that it takes me to do my own original to do this like master copy. But I'm okay with it. I'm happy, like just kind of figuring out, learning as we go. It's kind of a fun process. It is a fun process. I don't even say kind of. It is like a really fun process. Go ahead and save. So I hope that you guys enjoy these master studies. They're a lot of fun for me. So I hope that I'm not the only one benefiting from it. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you guys again next week. I'll be going back into making graphic novel and studying the masters and the book reviews. So we got a lot of stuff going on this channel. So please make sure you subscribe. It really lets me know that this content is really making a difference for you, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until I see you next time, be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. Take care.